I am officially 6 months, actually more like 6 months and half a week on testosterone. And I have been really bad at making videos. I actually took videos during that time period. They were just like all over the place. So I went through all of them and I have sucked out a lot of the good, juicy information to put into this 6-month update video. My voice still cracks a lot. It's mostly like when I'm going up in a pitch, and is that the right word, pitch?
Yeah.
Yes, it's mostly when I'm going like up in a pitch. I don't know, I kind of thought of voice cracking differently before it actually started it.
I thought it was gonna sound like this all over the place.
But like I don't, it's just when I when I change my pitch. I started noticing changes in my voice. I would say probably like 2 weeks on T. But the changes were really slow up until like maybe 4 months. I was in like my worst voice area in like the 3 to 4 month range. It just like sounded really weird. It was trying to go high, but I just sounded nasally. It was a mess. I started feeling really comfortable with my voice at 5 months, and 6 months right now, I feel like way comfortable with it. I don't know if it's going to drop any lower than this. This is from, oh my baby, from like other videos of other people that I've seen. 6 months is sort of when it sounds the deepest, so I don't know if it's going to change much more for me. Maybe it'll just become more like stable or something. And I also sing. Oh my god. I also sing every morning on my way to work, and I make sure to sing really low, even if it doesn't sound good with the song. Alright, moving on. We can talk about my skin next. So, I was really oily, starting at 2 months and kind of ended at about 4 months, but like my 3rd month on T was bad. I was like super oily all the time. I just felt like really greasy when I got home. That, like I said, kind of ended at 4 months. I feel pretty much fine now, and nothing's really changed. I wash my face every morning and every night, just like I always have. I wear the same amount of like makeup that I pretty much always have. So that was just like a month, probably like a month and a half of like bad oiliness. My acne really isn't that bad. I was getting really worried around that time period because I was getting acne starting like down here and on my shoulders and my back, but it really isn't bad at all. It comes and goes. I get some on my shoulders still, but they're nothing bad. Hair. So body hair has increased. I have more hair on parts of my legs that didn't have hair before, like the like the backs of my thighs, and like my kneecaps and stuff. I'll show you my stomach right now. So I've always had a happy trail, but the hair there has gotten like long. I also have hair down the center of my chest and elsewhere. Moving on to my face, I'll put some photos in of like hair that comes in. I shave every few days, really like every 3 to 4 days, just because I start to feel like gross and scraggly. But like my sideburns, what sideburns? I have like, I have like sideburn hairs that are coming in. There's like a few dark ones, the rest are very light, but I have recently stopped shaving that area because I want sideburns the most. My mustache area, wow. The lighting in here is just too good. You can sort of see it. I'll post pictures of that. It's there, it just looks dirty, but I can't bring myself to shave it. And my head. I have been wearing this hat all day, so hat hair like crazy. Ooh. My hairline, there you go. It has always been like very, very light right here, but I feel like I'm definitely losing a bit. All the guys in my family have like really, really receding hairlines, and I'm not looking forward to that. I might talk to my doctor about any way that I can stop that from happening. But right now I don't feel like it's too bad, and I do want my hairline to be a little bit more squared out than it currently is. The fat, I feel, has redistributed from like my, right here, my outer thigh area, up to my gut probably. And I still have some love handles, but that's, I guess that's probably like a unisex thing anyway. I am definitely bulkier. At around 4 months, I noticed that I like honestly couldn't fit into some shirts anymore. My dress shirts, there's 2 that I couldn't button the top button anymore, and I had just been able to like this summer. So I am definitely getting bulkier in the neck. Yes, Kitty! You look so weird. So around 3 months on T, I noticed that I was getting more muscle in my upper body. Like, I had some semblance of biceps, and I was definitely getting bulkier up in my shoulders. I'm going to talk very briefly about bottom growth and chest growth. Start with my chest. That's smaller, definitely smaller. I'm not binding now, and I don't bind on most of my days off. When I'm working, I'm wearing tight button-downs, so I have to bind. But I try on the weekends not to, because I bind on weekdays like 10 hours a day. And bottom growth. In the very beginning, you can feel that. It's very sensitive. It honestly feels like it's growing. And before, I mean like 1 and 2 months on T, and then it just slowly started to fade away. I don't have that feeling that it's growing anymore. What else? My Shark Week ended the first the first month on testosterone. I think like a week after I started, I got Shark Week, and then that was the last one I've ever had, and I don't miss it. So, passing. I don't like that term, but it's the most widely used, so I'm going to use that. I started passing at about, it started at like 3 months on T. I feel like I look the most androgynous now that I have ever looked, but now I am gendered male 100% of the time. I would say that I'm gendered female maybe around strangers I'm talking about, maybe like once a week. That's it. And I've actually been on the phone with people now at work, like customers that I have helped previously. I'll be on the phone with them and they'll say that a young woman had helped them 3 to 4 months ago. And they do not know that they are speaking to the same person. Passing as male is a little bit weird because I identify as agender. So I guess I don't really know how to interact with people as a male yet, and I didn't know that it was going to really be much different. But I feel fine being seen as male and being non-binary. I guess I'm more on the transmasculine spectrum, so it's not really affecting me. And I don't really feel like my presentation, especially like in a work environment, has to be androgynous. I just kind of am non-binary on the inside, and I like having a transmasculine representation. I only use male spaces now. I use like the men's bathroom and stuff. I get nervous about small bathrooms because I don't want to be waiting for a stall. I don't know where to divert my eyes. But I try to do either large restrooms or like gender-neutral restrooms. You know, I think that was pretty much it, except just like emotions. I had a lot of anxiety when I was like between 1 and 3.5 probably. No, probably between like 1 and 5 months on T. I was just a little like anxious about the fact that it seemed like it was going so slowly and that not everyone was noticing, and I was anxious about being gendered male by someone and being gendered female by the next person. When you work in a customer service job and you're interacting with people every day, like I had a daughter who called me he, and then the mother corrected her and said she, and they were basically both looking at me like, which is it? And I'm like, wow, this is incredibly exhausting. So I guess I just like the ease of passing now. Not everybody has the privilege to pass and to be recognized for whatever they feel is most comfortable. So that's basically the reason that I don't like the term passing, and why I feel a little bad, I guess, about passing as a male. So we can get into that in another video. We can totally not talk about that right now. I don't really feel like my energy has changed, and while we're talking about that, I don't feel like my headspace has changed at all. My emotional state hasn't really changed. I don't feel like I've ever gotten agitated for any reason related to the hormone changes or anything like that. I feel the best about myself now than I possibly ever have, to be honest. I think that I started feeling good about myself starting on 5 months on T, but when I hit that 6-month mark and when I got to celebrate with myself the fact that I had stuck with T for 6 months and that I had gone through so many changes just in my life and then in my body and my presentation, I got really happy at 6 months. I am able to look at myself in the mirror and be really, really proud of the way that I look and the way that I'm presenting. So I'm super excited for the future. I can't wait for a year on T to see the changes there. Back in high school and stuff, when I was first starting to watch transition videos, I kind of noticed that it seemed that around 6 months is when people kind of leveled out, when the changes didn't really progress much more. And I kind of always thought of 6 months as the pinnacle. That was the best I was ever going to get, and that's the most that my voice would change, and my facial hair and stuff. But now I'm looking at people who are continuing taking videos, and people now post transition photos of 1 year versus 2 years, and I just can't wait for the long-term future, because 6 months in the end is nothing, and I know now that I'm going to change so much more, and I'm really excited about that. This is my voice and me, 6 months on testosterone.
Anyway, I keep picturing all these little kids playing some game in this big field of rye and all. Thousands of little kids, and nobody's around. Nobody big, except me. And I'm standing on the edge of some crazy cliff. And what I have to do, I have to catch everybody if they start to go over the cliff.
If they're running and they don't look where they're going, I have to come out from somewhere and catch them. And that's all I do all day. I just be the catcher on the rye and all. I know it's crazy, but that's the only thing I'd really like to be.
I know it's crazy, but that's the only thing I'd really like to be. I know it's crazy.
I know it's crazy.